In this video, I will explain how I generated £126,000 using an algorithm in golf betting. Golf Forecast is an algorithm that combines data analysis, bookie data collection, machine learning, and budget distribution to make the most profitable golf tips. It guarantees profitability after only 5 consistent tournaments. And why 5? Well, our algorithm profits 1 in every 3 tournaments, and the longest losing streak it's had in the past 4 years has been 5 tournaments. So we can confidently say that after 5 tournaments of betting, you will receive a profit. The calculations behind our algorithm are fairly complex, however, I've done my best to simplify them in this video. First off, our algorithm strictly relies on each way betting because it is the most consistent and safe way to place your bets. Next, the algorithm collects data from every single bookie and compares the odds and terms. Again, even if you're not using an algorithm, this is something that's absolutely essential because the bookie giving the best odds and the bookie giving the worst odds, the difference between them is astonishing. Next, the algorithm forecasts a prediction based on player data from the last 3 years, historical course data, and weather for that given week. It then calculates normalized bookies' odds. This tells us the real odds for each player if the bookies had no intention of profiting. Then it compares its initial prediction with the normalized bookie odds to find real effective value. Real effective value just means which players the bookies have undervalued, giving us the highest percentage of winning possible for that given tournament. There is no such thing as winning every single time when it comes to betting. The only true way to bet smart and actually make money is to bet using probability. And to bet using probability, you need to find value. Our objective is not to win the most money on a tournament. Our objective is to win some money on as many tournaments as possible. This ensures long-term profits. A lot of people look at it like this. They want to 10x their money on one tournament. So they want one massive win. However, it's impossible to do that consistently. So rather, we look at it with a big picture point of view, not focusing on huge wins, but focusing on winning consistently over time. I've been betting seriously for quite a while. The last 4 years has been me trying to do this full time and find consistency within profits. If I saw this 4 years ago, I'd ask, where do I sign up? If I knew 2 things, that it actually worked and I knew exactly how it worked. And that's the whole objective of this video. I'm James Barton and I have a background in data science. I studied computer algorithms throughout my whole education, and my final thesis was actually the outline and creation of the Golf Forecast algorithm. To prove that's all true, I've linked the PDF down below where you can download the full thesis and you can look at the technical side of how it was created. Now I'm going to show you the results from the past 4 years, and I'll show you inside the members area, which will outline how to use the site and a deeper explanation of how these tips are generated.
Here's a quick review of our results from the past 4 years. We have 2 algorithms. One is based on maximizing ROI, which is this one here, and this bets 8% of the field, and is higher risk, higher reward. As you can see, we started in August 2016, and this was still the development stage of the algorithm. It's very different than it is now. We tweaked it for about 1.5 years, and in April 2018, we found a consistent formula that generated consistent profits. As you can see, we started with 0 points in 2016, and now in 2021, we have 1,262 points. Staking £10 a point would get you £12,627 profit. Obviously, that number can change based on how much you stake. If you stake £1 a point, the profit would be £1,262, but if you stake £100 a point, then the total profit would be £126,270. We just use £10 a point because that is the general amount subscribers start staking. If you hover over the graph, you can see how many points each tournament won or lost. So in this example, if we hover over here, the Italian Open in October 13th, 2019, you're up 72.8 points. At 10 pounds a point, that's 720 pounds. And next, you go to this tournament, it's negative 20 points. At 10 pounds a point, that's negative 200 pounds. Overall, all you want to see is a consistent upward trend, meaning wherever you start, the graph is going to keep rising, meaning you're going to profit. These boxes change automatically after every single tournament based on the results. The strike rate is the rate or the percentage that our algorithm profits. So 35% is roughly 1 in every 3 tournaments you'll receive a profit. 22.2% ROI is fairly self-explanatory, and the winner strike rate just means how often our algorithm predicts the golfer who comes in first place. Since our algorithms are based on each way betting, we often still profit even if we didn't predict the winner. So as you can see here, our algorithm predicts a winner roughly 1 in every 8 tournaments. Next is the average monthly profit, again, if you're staking 10 pounds a point. And lastly, the risk. Take your starting bank, let's say 500 pounds, and divide that by 20. That gets you 25. This means you start by betting 25 pounds per tournament. Next is our diversified algorithm. This is the safer, more consistent algorithm as it bets 22% of the field, making it safer, however the wins are smaller. The algorithm has been consistent since the very beginning. As you can see, we started with 0 points and now currently have 1,074 points. Even though the ROI is lower, the main numbers to look at here are the strike rates. It wins 37% of the time. Roughly 1 in every 2.5 tournaments you're getting a profit. 27.5 is the winner strike rate, meaning 1 in every 4 tournaments you're predicting, or we're predicting, the person who came in first. We recommend starting with this algorithm if your starting bank is relatively small. The reason the profits are lower overall is because you're betting on a lot more players. We are now inside the Golf Forecast members area. This is a brief overview of everything happening this week. The week's forecast is just the forecast for that given tournament. It gives you a bit more insight into the players that are picked, and usually there would be 2 columns, one for the European Tour and one for the PGA Tour. Below is the Your Tips overview. About Your Tips just gives you a bit more information about how they're made and a bit more information about what they mean. To view the full page, simply click here, and this is a quick overview of the actual players you will be betting on. This is the Your Tips page. This page gives you all of the golfers you are going to be betting on that week. Simply select on the tournament and it will give you all the players. This is the diversified algorithm, betting 22% of the field, so you're getting a lot more players to bet on here. First is the points. The example we used before is that 1 point equals 10 pounds. So in this example, 1.19 points means you will bet 11.9 pounds on Niemann. Next is the bookie. The bookie is just the bookie giving the best odds in terms for that given player. In account settings, you can choose the bookies that you have accounts with. Let's say I have an account with Betfred, Paddy Power, and Bet365. I can select those, and then the Your Tips page will only give you the top bookies for those selected bookies. Next are the odds if the player comes in first place. Next are the terms, the each way terms, meaning if Niemann comes 1 through 8, you will get a return on your investment. And at 1/5 just means that you'll get 1/5 of these odds if he comes 8th place. Within forecasts, you'll receive a more in-depth table on how these tips are made. You can click the key button to learn what all these terms mean, and click here to view the selected tournament. Below are all the players in that lineup. Implied represents the bookie's odds in a percentage. So if Higo is 35-1, the bookie thinks his odds of winning are 2.78%. Normalized is the golfer's true probability if the bookie had no intention of profiting. If you take the bookie's odds and sum them up to 100%, this gives you the real probability for each golfer. Predicted is the probability our algorithm has projected. This is based on available player data from the past 3 years, course data, and weather conditions. Discrepancy is the final outcome. This is where we subtract the true probability of the golfer by the algorithm's predicted percentage, giving you the real value on that bet. Next is the stake. The stake is indicating how much to bet on that player. The stake is double what the point value is on the tips page. This is doubled because our algorithm is based on each way betting. Please note that the stake is simply a representation of how much you'll be leveraging that player. The actual amount you bet is indicated by the player's points on the Your Tips page. And lastly, the highlighted green rows are the advised tips. And in the rare case, there's a yellow line that indicates the bookie is letting you bet on a player that isn't competing. Lastly, you can sort through this table based on whatever term you feel is fit.